I'm Maria Fontanazza from MedAd News, and I'm here with Casey Dickerson, Executive Vice President and Head of Engagement at ConcentricLife. Casey, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks
Nice
for
to see
being
you, Maria.
here. So today we'll be discussing moments that matter in the customer journey and where marketers are having an impact. But before we get started, can you talk a little bit about yourself and tell us about your journey to where you are today?
I'd be happy to. So I have been in advertising for about 22, now going on 23 years. When I graduated from college, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but fell into advertising at a young age, first working for healthcare brands. And I thought it was sort of an interesting space, but at the time I was also able to market a lot of other things like, beers and cars and cruise ships. And it was a wonderful time, but 9/11 happened and all of our jobs went away because people didn't necessarily need those things anymore. So at that point, I went back to my initial roots of healthcare, and I started in pharmaceutical advertising, which I've been now doing for over 15 years. It's been a long journey with twists and turns in it. But along the way, I've been an account person. I've been a digital strategist. Now I lead engagement, where it's kind of some of the digital and some of the account and all of those pieces of work coming together.
Okay, great. So speaking of which, let's start off by talking about engagement.
Sure.
What does the ideal partnership look like when you're talking about brand strategy, medical, creative, and engagement strategy?
Love that question. And just even listening to you ask the question, I would actually put those disciplines in a different order. I think of first the strategy machine as an integrated strategy machine. You must have medical so that you can understand what the compound is and how it's different from other compounds in the industry. You must have brand strategy so you can understand how to position a drug. But you take that insight, those informations, and then you figure out who is our customer. That's where engagement strategy comes in. Where are they? What are they doing? What is their mindset? What's going to motivate them or deter them? And where are you going to put content in front of them so that they will engage with our brands? It's my job to take all of those aggregated strategy insights and work with with the creative team so that then they really understand the customer that they are speaking to so that they can bring that through in a dynamic presentation of creative that helps to actually move the market.
Okay, so taking a deeper dive into engagement strategy and what it really means, what does a well-crafted engagement strategy look like in the context of pharma advertising?
So, a well crafted engagement strategy focuses on marketing messages across the journey for each and every audience that you are trying to address. It's necessary that it talks about how you're going to shift those mindsets with activation strategies. It talks about what is the communication pillars that must be upheld. What do you need to achieve at each step of a journey? And it also starts to outline things like where should we play tactically? What are the key imperatives, the KPIs that we want to achieve? It's something that should be able to be used by the internal agency, the marketing partners, any vendors that work with the client as well, and gives everybody a roadmap, if you will, to how we engage each audience for success.
Okay, and so still on the engagement strategy talk track, when we're talking about omni-channel, people are always talking about creating a true, authentic omni-channel experience. So how can engagement strategy integrate into that to help have an impact on all the touch points?
Sure. So, looking at many tactics that will come along for any given brand, the omni-channel comes in behind engagement strategy to understand what are the data that's being collected at each stage of the journey. How can we use that data and assign triggers? How can we use that data and assign sort of hero actions, if you will, so that we know when a brand user takes a step that we want them to, and they go further along in their journey. So omni-channel is the engine that drives that by identifying those triggers along the journey.